The following is brought to you by the Starfleet Podcast Network, SPN The Spin.
Red alert.
This is Big J with Beyond Trek Podcast, and I'm here with John Paladin. Now, you'll have to help me out with this because I was looking at your Facebook profile, looking up some other info on you. And am I right in saying that you primarily do the makeup effects at the conventions for people, but now I think you do, or you have done actual Star Trek in production work. Is that right?
I do the convention makeup for Robert O'Reilly, J.G. Hertzler, Robin Curtis, Chase Masterson, Max Grudenchik, and Casey Biggs, and who else? Gwyneth, the Doris sister, Bator. And I did a couple of internet movies, Star Trek Gods and Men and Star Trek Autumn. And that's it.
So let's hear this first. How did you get into the makeup artist and designer part for Star Trek?
I belong to a Star Trek fan club, Klingon fan club, for a lot of years, and then ran my own convention for 3 years. And brought in Robert O'Reilly as the first guest, and William Campbell, one of the original Klingons. And then the next year, J.T. Hertzler came in. And then the next year, Mary Kay Adams, who doesn't act anymore. She was Grilka in DS9. I think the episode was House of Quark. And
I believe you're right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not long after that, Bob and J.G. asked me to do their makeup at the convention when they came in and recreate their characters on stage. And that's how that all got started.
Well, now doing that on stage, for example, for the actual actors, you dress them up on stage, put on their makeup right there on the stage.
No. We do their makeup. They get into their costumes, and then they're taken down to the stage, and then they go out on stage and they do their presentation. The only one that I actually put makeup on stage was Susie Flaxman.
Okay.
And that was a set skit that she wrote and put together, and part of the whole deal was turning her into Kalar on stage. She has an audio a presentation now that's available on her Facebook site about poor dead Kalar, and it's fabulous. It's interesting. It's wonderful. Susie's just one of a kind, with talent that goes far beyond the screen. She's a wonderful singer, a great writer, and just an all-around hell of a great entertainer.
Oh, that's excellent. So do you have a favorite person that you do the makeup for? One that maybe not so much is easier one, but one that you just, you like doing more than any of the others?
No, I like everybody that I work with.
I mean, in regards to makeup application, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I've been doing Klingons for 25, 30 years. So it's that's that's my grounding point. That's where it all began, and I like them. Each makeup application is great. It's fun. I enjoy doing them all. Probably the hardest one, not really the hardest one, but the most intricate one to do so far is a Cardassian. That's because there's so many pieces involved in it.
Curious, Cardassian makeup is more involved than the Klingons, and I'm surprised to hear that, because to me it seems like, at least when you see it on screen, it would appear that, and as I'm saying that, I realize that with the Klingons, most of it is just the forehead ridge area, maybe nose. But for the Cardassians, you've got the whole head thing, sides, neck. Okay, so I can see where that would be more involved in doing that.
Yeah, the Cardassian is forehead, nose, chin, ears, and neck.
Wow. So that's a lot. I'm sure whenever you get to Cardassian, you're probably thinking, oh, God, really? Not today.
I think this is going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to take longer because there's more pieces to put on and blend in. But I have a great time doing it all. The more the merrier. Right.
When you're doing the onstage makeup, how long on average does it take to do that?
It depends really on the schedule of the convention. They're allotted so much time on stage, which is anywhere between an hour or 45 minutes. And it takes time to get them into the makeup and get them out of the makeup. And they want, by the time they're done, they want to get out of the makeup as quickly as possible. Getting into makeup, depending on the schedule, usually it's about an hour. Cardassian's a little bit longer because it's a little more involved in it. But there are, after doing it for so many times, I got it down to time.
So it's certainly quicker for you because after you do it so many times, it just gets faster and faster.
It's done for, if I were putting them into makeup for filming, it would take between 2 and 3 hours for somebody like a Klingon and at least 3 hours for a Cardassian, because, you're going for total set quality for filming. But you don't need that for the stage presentation. You get as close to set as possible, and it usually 9 times out of 10 it works. The 10th time it takes a little bit longer because the makeup fights, or at least fights. But anyway, it all works out.
What gave you the idea to do this in the convention circuit, to do the onstage makeup setup?
Well, involving me, it's Bob and JG just sat down and decided one day, why don't we do our characters on stage? Can't be that bad, can't be that involved, can't be that tricky. We'll just have John do our makeup. And, okay, they asked me. And I said, sure, yeah, okay.
So it's that simple. That's as easy as it needs to be.
Yeah. Not rocket science.
Right. Are you involved in any of the newer productions of Trek with any of that? Okay.
No, I've never worked for Paramount. Let's get that right out there.
Gotcha.
Right off the bat. I only do the convention makeup when it's allowed, when they can do it. Of course, now with the strike going on, you can't do any of that stuff. So that's okay.
You can't even you can't do makeup setup for a convention
not to the answer.
Wow, man.
You can't do it anyway unless Paramount says, yeah, okay, they can do their makeup, their characters at this convention or whatever.
Those are pretty far-reaching rules and regulations that you because that was brought into question. Were you at STLV this past year?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go there so bad, but I was not able to get it in the budget, which is a shame. I'm going to try for next year, but I had heard, and this came up pretty not too far away from the convention, was that there were several panels that were, I don't want to say in jeopardy. That might be too strong of a word, but it kind of became an unknown at that time of, well, what can we actually do here with these panels and with the actors, because there's so much that they couldn't talk about. And then did you find yourself with restrictions on what you could do on your end that made anything different from prior years?
Not really. I did the makeup for Michael Westmore. He did a stage presentation, and he was worried about what he was going to be able to say and what he couldn't say. And then we found out at the last minute we were going to put one of the actors in makeup, and it came down. No, you are not. They can't get into makeup. And not only that, you can't put anyone into a Star Trek character. Anything that was seen in any of the shows, any of the movies, and Mike called me and he said, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "Don't worry, we had it figured out. That's okay. Don't sweat." He said, "Well, I said, I got it covered. I've already got the appliance coming to me. I'll take care of it, and I said, just don't tell anybody what we're going to do, but it'll be within the confines of what the union says you can and can't do." And when I went out there on stage, he talked about his family history, stayed away from anything Star Trek, and I applied a lizard face to one of the convention goers. She was great about it. She loved it, and it looked like a big gecko, which is, and I just the only thing that Mike Westmore did all the talking because it's his show, and he said, and when he was finally over, he turned to me and said, "Well, let's see what you've done." I said, "Well, she either looks like a space bounty hunter, or she's going to try to save you 15% on your car."
Save you 15% or more on your car insurance.
Yeah, well, yeah. But her outfit was perfect. Was mostly all leather. And there was a hood, a burlap hood on her, and she looked fabulous. And that's how they got around that little problem. I mean, there's always a way to solve a problem, and we did it, and everybody loved it. They had a great time.
So, next question that I've got for you is, let's just say I'm in the crowd and I'm someone that's going to come up and get the makeup job done. Are you letting that person, like, would I be able to say, "Hey, I would like to get done up as this," or is it more of you offer a couple choices of what you get to be?
When I at the conventions, I used to do a stage presentation, and we pick somebody from the audience and say, "Okay, you want to get me? Okay, come on up." And it's already planned. I've already got the headpiece there. I've already got the nose or the wig or whatever. And I just say, "Do you have any allergies to latex?" The answer is no. He says, "Okay, fine, good." And then I say, "Now I'm going to put you into makeup. How you get out of it is your own problem." Because they want to wear it all day.
Yeah.
And I tell them how to get out of it. What you need, a little bit of alcohol or a Q-tip to cut the adhesive, and it'll come right off. And if you don't have alcohol in your room, hand sanitizer that has alcohol in it will work just as well. Nah, not just as well. It'd take a little longer, a little bit more of it, but and no, it's already decided what I'm going to do. we put them in the makeup, and they have a good time. And, and I get about 45 minutes to do it. And that's how it goes. And usually it's a Klingon. I've done a couple of other, put somebody into the pointed ears or the John nose, but mostly it's been Klingon.
Have you had any instances that you felt like, okay, this is a train wreck as we're going along and we're too far in? We just have to kind of figure out how to get to the end of the track. Any setups where you just felt like, okay, this is not going.
Fighting me, and it's gonna look like it ain't gonna work. There's been a couple times when an edge won't lay down, or the adhesive that I was using just wouldn't stick. There was one where I came out on stage, and we picked a volunteer, sat him in the chair, put the caper on, and opened up the makeup kit, and I forgot all my brushes.
Oh, all of them?
This is where you find out that these are great. And you just use those instead of the brushes.
Use your fingers instead of the brushes.
Yeah, you're using a lot of alcohol to clean your fingers off between things. But it works out great. And Q-tip. In other words, I MacGyvered the whole thing. and if I hadn't mentioned it, no one would have known the difference. But, you
told on yourself.
Yeah. Self-deprecating humor is a big part of what I do also. And then, we'll start a demo, and then I'll start applying the makeup, and I'll say, now, if anybody has any questions, you yell it out. Because if you don't ask questions, it's going to be 45 minutes of bad jokes. It's just, I'm always afraid I'm going to bore somebody to death, and I don't want to do that. I want to entertain them. I want them to be interested in what I'm doing, and have a good time.
How do you entertain the room like that when you're trying to do something as intricate as putting on these appliances, putting on this makeup, doing this transformation of a person from human to Klingon? I would think that would be very distracting to try to do both.
Have you ever been on a car trip and you have a passenger next to you?
Yep.
You have a conversation with them?
Sure. Yeah.
But you're still concentrating on driving.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
I know what I'm doing. What's the old phrase? This ain't my first rodeo.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm doing, and I can talk at the same time I'm doing something else. And if I'm walking and chewing gum at the same time, that usually works out. I don't have a problem with any of it, and I just I have a good time with it. I don't take it seriously. What I do, I take seriously, but I don't take the whole event itself so seriously that I can't have fun with it. It's still entertaining to me, and I want them to have as much fun as I'm doing, as I'm having putting the makeup on.
And I think that's one of the things that you do something that you like, that it's an actual enjoyable experience to do when it feels like something that you want to do instead of something that's just a grind to pay the bills.
Oh yeah, I don't work. When they say do something you enjoy and you'll never work a day in your life. And there have been times where I have worked a day in my life, and I got out of that. now I do what I like to do, and it's great. I don't have any problems with it at all, other than, if I'm trying to make something or I'm in my own studio and trying to put something together and it doesn't work and I have to start from scratch or redo something or whatever. Yeah, there's always those times where, this isn't working. All right, I got to go back to the drawing board. That happens. Yeah, that's all part and parcel of anything that you do. But I'm having fun at the same time.
You mentioned work on the Star Trek fan film side of it. Tell us about your experience in the fan film side. Is it similar to or very different than when you're doing makeup applications at the conventions?
You have more time, and they're filming it, so it's gotta look really good. It was an experience to remember. Long hours. You're in the makeup room, and you have a different mindset as far as, okay, what am I doing as far as techniques to make it look as real as possible. And now I've got the time to do it, so I can do those intricate techniques and make it as it's something that someone will sit down in front of the screen and watch and say, yeah, I like that. That was good.
Oh, that's amazing. That is excellent. Do you enjoy the work on the fan films? Do you feel like this is a very fulfilling use of the skills and talents? And is it something you would maybe prefer doing more of?
But, I enjoy it. It was fun, a lot of work, a little more pressure, a little more intense, but it's still, you organize, think logically, take it step by step. Don't let it overtake what you're doing. What you want the outcome to be. It all flows together. You can get on your nerves a little bit, and you got to watch it. Just step back, take a breath. Okay, now let's do this. Let's do this, and think about the work itself rather than somebody else's schedule or we got to get this done. Oh, come on, we got to. It takes what it takes. In other words, you can't fight this. It takes X amount of time to do something and make it look good, and it takes what it takes. I always think about that the scene from God, I can't remember what film it was. Charlton Heston played Michelangelo, and the Pope would come in and see him up there painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and the running gag in certain scenes was, "When will you be done?" The Pope would yell, "When will you be done?" And he'd yell down, "When I'm finished."
It's done when it's done.
Yeah.
So if you are in the chair, let's put yourself in there. Don't know if you've already done this, but what is your choice? How would someone that is you, if you swapped with an audience member, what is that you want to get makeup done as? Klingon, Romulan, Vulcan? What would be your choice?
In the second internet film I did, Star Trek Katamba, I was one of the Klingons. And I did my own makeup. That's how I started, doing my own makeup.
Okay.
You're doing everything that you would do normally when you put makeup on somebody, only you're doing it to yourself. It means you're doing it in the mirror, which means you're doing it backwards.
All right.
But I already did that. I did that for years. And then when I had to do it again for Kazumba, it was a little challenging. I thought, God, no, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to do this. But it worked out. It worked out. And I've done myself as Klingon many times. Vulcan, that was one of the first ones that I did when I worked at a radio station in Florida, for the Halloween gig. And I had a monster maroon outfit done up and put the ears on. And I actually cut my hair like Spock and dyed it black. So,
very immersive.
Yeah. Haven't done that again. Anyway, when I did that at a couple of radio stations that I worked at, and I've done other makeup. There's one of the first ones that I really did before all that stuff. I did myself up as Vincent from Beauty and the Beast. I have a picture of it somewhere. I think it's on my Facebook, in one of my folders. Boy, howdy, did that turn out good. I'm surprised. It did. But it came out good. I was on, did myself a Skeletor one year, and it's
Skeletor. I think I would want to be Skeletor.
Yeah. Well, that was before I knew what I was doing, and I had two different skull pieces that I cut up and put together, and did it all in pancake white makeup, and had the black outfit, the black cape, and the staff, and the anyway, it was fun. I had a good time on that. Beetlejuice, I did that a couple of times. And, the hardest part about Beetlejuice is the voice.
Yeah.
You talk like Beetlejuice all night, I guarantee you the next day you don't have the voice.
No, that would be difficult to do.
Yeah. Well, it's not difficult to do. It's very straining on a vocal cord, and especially when you're doing it at a bar and you're doing it all night.
Yeah.
And you're talking like that, and you're drinking, and you're running around, and you're
When I play with the kids, there are times where we'll role play and I'm playing the part of Batman. Well, I get immersive. If I'm going to be Batman, I'm going to be Batman. So I do the voice, do the whole thing.
I did Batman too.
Yeah.
And then I got hired to do Batman at an Autorama. And they had me there with some girl playing Catwoman, and we were with the car from Michael Keaton's movie. And kids believed it. So, and then I did it at a couple of the bar appearances from the radio station, and at a car dealership. I think I played Batman at a car dealership. So
you played Batman at a car dealership?
Yeah, many, many years ago.
What was that like? I want to hear that story.
And a few pounds ago. So. Well, no, it was just, they just had characters. That picture is in one of my Facebook photos. It's called Radio Days. They had people dressed up as different old Hollywood characters, and then mine was Batman. The only thing that I did very straight at that time, during a break, I went into the service bay and climbed halfway up a wall, and because I wanted a picture of me and up high and Batman looming down, and I thought I'll go as high as I can. I have vertigo, and I'm not fond of heights.
And you went how high?
About halfway up the wall. So I was about 10 feet or higher up the wall than
when you're watching someone doing that, it's different than when you're the person up there. You feel like you're a whole lot higher.
Yeah. We'll do it in an outfit that has a cowl that you can barely see out of. And you're climbing 10 feet up,
And you can't turn your head.
Oh, I could. Yeah.
Oh, in that outfit? Because that's always been kind of the trope with the Batman costume is can't move your head, can't turn it.
Yeah. Well, there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
But it, and I say they got one shot of it because I'm not doing it again. And now it takes an act of Congress to get me a step ladder. I can't do it anymore, and I'm too old for. I feel like Danny Glover.
We get too old.
You know what his line was from that movie with what's his name? I'm too old for this yet.
Oh yeah, Danny Glover, the actor, plays the part of John Murtaugh in the Lethal Weapon series.
Lethal Weapon, that was it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't play that game anymore, and because I am too old. But it was a lot of fun, and
it's not like we were when we were younger. You can get up on a wall or ladder like that, take a drop, pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Now it's something's going to get broken. An EMT is going to have to show up. It's a whole situation, and things are going badly. Yeah.
I know that feeling well. I'm not doing anything that I've never had a broken bone. Never.
Neither have I. So knock on wood.
I pulled every tendon that I have. I sprained both ankles and both wrists. But that was when I was young and stupid. And I used to have, I had horses for a long period of time. And not all together, just one at a time, just horse to horse, And I joined a weekend troop of guys that would put on Western shows at different stables in the area that had these little Western towns. And they were just all weekend cowboys. One guy was a sergeant at the Air Force Base near here. Another guy worked at Sears. Another guy worked, where mail in. Mm-hmm. But on the weekend, they were cowboys. And I got drafted into that little troop because I was they were all afraid of horses. They're weekend cowboys putting on Western shows, and none of them would go near a horse. So I got drafted into the little troop. And if any one of the skits required anything to do with a horse, I had to play that character. So I've been thrown, kicked, dragged, bit, fell on, and I'm paying for that now.
Wow.
We did the stuff that professional stunt people do, but we didn't use pads and we didn't get paid. The owner of the stable would do was buy our gunpowder and bear grease for the blanks for our guns.
Yeah.
So but I loved that. I had a great time. And I missed it, but I'm not doing it again. I'm not going to get on a horse now. I'm going to be 69. I want a few more years before, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not taking chances.
I can only imagine if when I turn 69, I'm still in this chair doing podcasts. I don't see why not, but I don't know. I had this existential crisis because this started a few years ago. I'm going to be 46 this month, but there have been several times where I say to myself, for all intents and purposes, and it's not too far out of the realm of possibility, that I'm only halfway through life expectancy. Halfway there. And when you think about where you're at that age, all the stuff you've gone through, everything you've done, et cetera, it's just, oh my God, I can't do another 45 years of this. And just your brain just blue screens on you. And, at the thought of that.
Wow. You're a puppy.
I don't know what I'm talking about, right?
I was still having a really good time when I was 46.
Well, we can't bounce up like we used to. I mean, back in the day when we were in our college, our 20s and such, we didn't know any better, and we were very resilient. We could just bounce back from any of that stuff. Now the hip's going to get broken.
Yeah, well. I knew better when I was in my 20s. I just did it anyway. And I was lucky. I was living on borrowed time. Well, no more borrowed time. But anyway, that's enough of that depressing crap.
How long do you see yourself doing the conventions and the makeup setup? Is this something that you'll continue long term?
As long as they call me and say, okay, you gotta do this kind, you gotta do that kind, or do you want to do this one or that one? Yeah, sure, yeah. As long as I'm having fun. The day it becomes work, I don't want to do it anymore.
If I ever make it to a convention that you're at, I definitely need to try to find you so I can get dressed up like a Klingon. I think I've got the look for it, the Klingon look. Hopefully. I think that would be pretty cool to walk around. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'5". I played football, so I'm built like a lineman. Dress me up as a Klingon, that's a scary Klingon. Yeah,
that's an opposing figure. Yeah, and the other good side, one of the strangest things is when you put somebody in the chair and the makeup works and everything looks great and everything, it just comes out really good. You always tell them, I said, now, be prepared because you're going to count the steps you take when you walk, because it'll be no more than 10 or 12 and somebody will want a picture. And then you're going to take another 12 steps and somebody's going to want a picture. And you're going to be doing that all day.
I think they don't realize that when they're getting the makeup done is, oh shit, you're right. Now you can't really get much done. You spend the rest of the day getting pictures taken,
which is fabulous because you've made somebody happy.
Sure,
and that's the whole purpose of being at a convention, is to entertain, have fun, do that sort of thing. When I was with a fan club, we used to do that and get money for charity. I never wanted to get into makeup just for the sake of getting into makeup and go around and strut.
Right.
That's fun for about 3 minutes and then, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Either I want to go home or find a water hole. So that wasn't my agenda. I had a whole different agenda than the other people in that fan club and what other people have when they go to a convention and get into the makeup. And my agenda worked out just fine. Thank you very much. And I am where I'm at because I want to be where I'm at. And that's the bottom line of it.
That is. And it seems like you're really happy with what you do. And it's something you like doing, that you enjoy doing. You're calling your own plays now.
Try to.
Uh-huh.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
So what do you do in your free time, your actual free time, when you're not doing the makeup?
Just take care of the office, try to talk to people on Facebook here and there. And I got something called Studio Cat, and now another little getting around here. So and try to come up with stuff in the studio that somebody else might want. And then, of course, there's movies. I'm a movie freak. So it's, but just Western. Mostly Western. Sometimes science fiction.
Well, I would think working with a science fiction franchise, you'd like science fiction.
Yeah, and yeah, I gotta be in the mood for it sometimes.
Gotcha.
Everybody has a home base that they go to. When you're all, I feel confused or life's getting too much. I got to kick back and relax. I got to go some home plate. That's it. And for me, it's usually Western. And if it's a Western, it's a John Wayne Western. And that's where I go. I have the ability to, in a movie, no matter what movie I'm watching, I can take, if it's a 90 minute or a 2-hour movie, I can take a 2-hour vacation.
Okay.
And at the end of 2 hours, I'm ready to go again.
Wow, that's spectacular. That is awesome. So I want to ask you this as we start to wrap up. I like to keep these between 30, 45 minutes. Just seems like to be the sweet spot for those podcast interviews. Do you have any upcoming work or projects, social medias, anything that you want to get out there so that more people can hear about it? Anything that you'd like our audience to hear or know about that you've got coming up?
I don't know that when the next convention is going to be. When I know, I put it on Facebook. I don't do a lot of social media. I Twitter, the Facebook, Twitter and FaceTime and all that other photo, whatever. I don't do it. I don't even know what some of them are called anymore. So I don't care. I have enough just trying to keep up with Facebook. And I don't have a website. So when I know what I'm going to do, I put it on Facebook and,
So
I
find
think
you
I
on
have
Facebook.
coming up in November. I'm not sure. And then in February, it looks like I'm going back to upstate New York, but I don't know until that happens. So I don't talk about them until a contract is signed or we know for sure what's going on. Who knows Las Vegas next year? I don't know. I just take them as they come.
So for anyone that wants to get some more info, updates, so just to follow John Paladin on Facebook, anything he's got coming up or working on, you will see there. And John, I wanted to say again, thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to me about your work. Really appreciate it. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of your evening. Didn't want to take up too much of your time. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on as well. And hopefully we'll end up at a same convention because I definitely want to see if I can get some Klingon work done on me. I think that would be very imposing, pretty intimidating.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. You'll enjoy it.
If you enjoyed this podcast, you can support us at patreon.com/BeyondTrek.
We are Beyond Trek Podcast. Lower your inhibitions and surrender your ears. We will add inspirational and hilarious Trek content to your day. Your attention will adapt to subscribe to us. Resistance is futile.